Hello, beautiful people, wherever you're watching me from. Thank you for joining me on this channel, Tribe Talks. Today, we're going to indulge into current affairs again. We are going to talk about Trump and his tariffs on Mexico, Canada, Colombia. And we're going to talk about the American government cutting the US aid, sorry. We're also going to talk about the relationship between the American government and the South African government. So thank you guys for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. That only contribution helps this channel to grow even bigger. So this is a channel where we just dissect the information and digest the news that the mainstream media is giving us. And then later we just wrap up and give our 2 cents into it. So in this channel, the purpose of this channel is to show you what's going on in the world and also help you to do your own research. Do not rely on the mainstream news media outlets for news, because Denzel Washington, this is a famous quote that Denzel Washington said. He said, if you are watching the news, you are misinformed. But if you also don't watch the news, you are uninformed. So it takes your responsibility to dissect what you just heard, do your own research, and make your final conclusion. So today's topic, Trump tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and Colombia. What really is going on? Someone might ask. So Trump, when he was inaugurated, we still had Justin Trudeau as the prime minister. I'm talking about the people who are living here in Canada. So Justin Trudeau flew to Florida to go see Donald Trump before he got inaugurated. In that meeting, I am sure that Justin Trudeau could see that he does not have respect anymore, because Trump ended up calling him or referring to him as Governor Trudeau. And do you know what that means? That means Donald Trump does not respect Justin Trudeau at all. How can you refer to our prime minister as a governor? So according to Trump, I don't think he'll succeed though in doing this, because he wants to annex Canada, and Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States of America. But I don't think he's going to succeed on doing that. So what did he do? So Trump was always running on immigration. I'm sure if you saw his campaign, the biggest challenge or the biggest talking point was the immigration. More than 20 million people crossed the border into the United States through Canada and Mexico, right? So Trump is like, these are the two governments of these two states, one above and one below. They should control their border, because there's a huge influx of people crossing into America illegally. And you know what that means. The border was unsecure. The fentanyl that was crossing through the border, the drugs, the children missing. There was child sex trafficking. There were kids crossing into the United States border unaccounted for. Wherever they are up to this day, the United States government does not know. So, what did Trump do? Trump, he threatened tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and Colombia. He was saying that they need to control their borders. They need to help us. It doesn't have to be only an American problem, because they see where the influx is coming from. So with that being said, he threatened Canada, Mexico, and Colombia with tariffs. And you know what that means. So tariffs, uh, I can just say they can work if you want to get a deal done. Did it work this time? I do not know. Let's read to what Trump said on Mexico. This is Donald Trump on Truth Social, I believe. Uh, I just spoke with President Claudia of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation, wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border, separating Mexico and the United States. So Mexico is promising to deploy 10,000 troops to the US-Mexico border, which I believe it is the most corrupt border on planet Earth. Probably Zimbabwe and South Africa follows next. I mean, that's just my opinion. But let's get into it. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our country. We further agreed immediately to pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month period, during which we have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Mark Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. On a high-level representative of Mexico, I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. So my question is, why didn't Mexico do this all this time during the Biden administration? They were so reluctant. Why? Because it was a cohort. These people are into big crime, corruption. One thing that really makes me sad is the children that went missing on the border. Why are we not talking about this? Human trafficking. Why? Why is this not an issue? Why is the flow of fentanyl? Fentanyl itself, do you know where fentanyl is coming from? So they are saying that fentanyl is coming from Canada because apparently Canada now has labs that are cooking this drug into the United States. So fentanyl, they are saying that it's coming from China, and then the Chinese, they are now cooking the fentanyl in Canada, and then it crosses into the United States mainland. So Trump was promising tariffs, and then I guess he achieved his goal because now he got a collaboration with these governments. Let's get to Canada. What did Justin Trudeau say? Justin Trudeau resigned. He's no longer our prime minister, and I'm surprised that he's still in these offices calling some shots. And this is what he said after Trump had threatened tariffs on Canada. I just had a good call with President Trump. Wow, now it's a good call. This is one thing I don't get about politicians, man. Why was Justin Trudeau not addressing this issue all along? Because right now, as we speak, most Canadians, they share the same sentiments that we need to control our borders. Canada is implementing our $1.4 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners. Okay, I like this. And increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-US joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl and will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. So, how does Justin Trudeau cave on this? So now the emerging of Trump makes him to act and control the border of his own country. I know Trump is saying that people are crossing into the United States, but how about you take care of your own borders, bro? Justin Trudeau, I cannot believe this, man. I cannot believe this. Why didn't you pledge this billion a long time ago? You were the prime minister all along. You didn't do that. This is just mind-boggling. I do not understand this. So Canada was trying to show some muscle, and as they should, because Canada is rich with resources. Apparently, there's gas. They have a relationship with the United States that is kind of shaky right now. But as they were trying to retaliate, this is the premier of Ontario, where I am. Ontario is the province where I'm living right now, and I can say, excuse me about it. I can say we share a border with Michigan. Michigan is just like 300 meters away from me. there's a border, the Detroit River. So that's Ontario, and this is Michigan. So Ontario cancels. This is the premier of Ontario, the province where I am right now. He's canceling $100 million Starlink deal as Trump's 25% tariffs loom. Premier Doug Ford announced Ontario is scraping its $100 million contract with Starlink ahead of Trump's income tariffs on US goods. Ford's government is also banning other American companies from provincial contracts in response to the trade measures. Source CTV. So as you can see, this is our premier in Ontario. He is threatening to boycott American goods into our province. I think it's a good thing, but you cannot do this if you do not have the upper hand. As you know, nowadays, politics is about economics. So here is Trump showing his economic might, and Canada does not like it. And with that being said, they are retaliating to Trump's tariffs. This was Doug before. This is Doug Ford before Justin Trudeau had that call with President Trump. So my question is, Doug, if you cancel this $100 million Starlink deal, is it gonna affect America or is it gonna affect Canada more? That's a genuine question. And you guys, thank you. If you can actually share your opinion in the comment section. Like, I want to understand, is this good for Canada? Is this good for Ontario? Elon Musk, during the hurricanes that happened before the election, he actually donated $100 million Starlink deal to the people of North Carolina. So is this going to bankrupt Elon Musk? I do not know. But to him, shout out to him. If he thinks that this is going to work for Canadians, shout out to him. But I do not want us Canadians, especially people in Ontario, complaining that things are now expensive. These are the policies that these people do. I do not get it. Do you know why the tariffs were actually brought in the first place? Canada is a mess. We need to take care of our own borders. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Why were we not taking this immigration crisis seriously? Now that Trump is threatening tariffs and now you want to retaliate, I do not think it's a good idea. This is just like crazy politics, man. I don't get it at all. So, if you did not know, the relationship between Canada, and so is Mexico as well, Mexico and Canada. Oh my goodness. Listen to this fact. 77% of Canada's exports go to where? The United States. Mexico's 84% of their exports, it also goes to the United States. Who is winning here? Let's say Mexico, Canada, Colombia. Colombia as well. Colombia was the first country to be threatened by Trump with tariffs because Trump wants to deport illegal immigrants. And then he sent back the Colombians with the US military flights back to Colombia. And guess what? The president of Colombia said, we do not want our people. Why don't they want them? Most of them, as Trump was always saying, I'm not saying Trump is always right, but sometimes you really judge him because most of these mainstream media news are being paid. As we are going to unpack later in the video, we saw that the DNC, which is the Democratic National Committee, they were being paid by the USAID as well. They pay the liberal media outlets, the CNN, the MSNBC. It's just like one information. There's no another side or the other. They always have the same talking points. But my point is, if Canada exports 77% of their goods to the States, I think we really need to control our border. That was the only reason why Trump threatened the tariffs, because he cares about the people of his country. Unfortunately, our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, never cared about that. So, as we move along, another topic is the USAID. the United States government, this is my own opinion. You can disagree if you can disagree, but I want to believe that the United States is the biggest criminal cartel in the history of mankind. They have caused wars. They have funded wars in other countries. Let's look into it. Let's see how the American government was spending the money. Here's a glimpse of some of the money of the US taxpayers was going. This is the press secretary of the new Trump administration. Here she's talking about, let's see where some of the money of the US taxpayers is going.
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you.
Okay, so the United States, guys, is a government that has so much money, but they are $33 trillion in debt. $33 trillion in debt. They give Ukraine billions of dollars. They give South Africa billions of dollars, millions, not billions. We're going to get into that as well. They give all these monies to other countries to fund transgender, LGBTQ movements. And shout out to those African countries, Ghana, Uganda. It's one of those countries that rejected this USAID fund. Because here's the thing. I want Africa to understand that nowadays politics is about economics. If you don't have economic might, people are just going to toss you around. When you go into these meetings, you need to be able to sustain yourself. We need to sustain ourselves as Africans to become more productive. We need to have more money because we won't stand any ground if we do not have money. Here's some of the monies, where the money is going. Where USAID funding is going. Some Serbian LGBTQ rights group, 1.5 million. Electric vehicles for Vietnam, 2.5 million. South African transgender HIV research, 30 million. Uganda LGBTQ rights, 4 million. Egyptian tourism, 6 million. Oh, South Africa got $30 million. Wow. Staggering. So, let me put myself in the shoes of someone who pays taxes in America. Would I want my taxpayers' funds to go and fund these causes? Thank God I'm not in America. Because I'll be so mad if my government is sending money to governments and they don't even take account for it. Listen to Zelensky, the president, Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, is being asked, do you know where some of this money is going? Listen to what he said.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177 або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо. Бо ми говоримо про конкретні речі, бо ми отримали це не грошима, а зброєю. Ми зброєю отримали на 70 з чимось мільярдів. Є навчання, тренування, є додаткові транспорт, є не тільки ціну на зброю, були гуманітарні програми, соціальні тощо. Але коли говорять, що Україна під час війни отримала 200 мільярдів на підтримку армії тощо, це неправда. Я не знаю, де всі ці гроші.
Shame. This is a shame. I do not know where to start. Most of this money is being laundered back to Democrats. I can guarantee you that. Because he got rich. But guess what? If America was funding Ukraine, what was the reason? Was it because they want them to win the war? Or I don't know, it's money laundering. This is so spooky, and I hope the Trump administration is going to reveal exactly where some of this money is going. Right now, we just got a glimpse of where the money is going. This is why you see Democrats flipping out. They cannot control themselves right now. They don't have a leader right now. They are just in shambles. And I believe that Democrats, they surely regret not letting Trump win in 2020 because they cheated in that election, in my own opinion. There is no way Joe Biden got more than 81 million votes. In your own mind, do you think Joe Biden is the most popular president on American soil? I disagree. I don't care what you say, but that is not true. Joe Biden was not popular more than Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden was not popular more than Barack Obama. And look what he did. All of this money that the USAID was funding, it was up to no good. Right now, we are realizing, oh my goodness, listen to this. I want you to listen to this. And people should be so mad about this because I do not know why people are not so ravaged about this. So, according to Kaneoka T, shout out to Kaneoka T, I'm reading his tweet on X. He is saying the USAID funneled $53 million to Eco Health Alliance. I'm one person who has been talking about this. I don't know for how long. Past COVID, I've realized that the United States has people in power who are just evil. Right now, people might be saying Trump this, Trump that, but you do not know that God literally saved him to do what he's doing right now. He's undoing some of the damages that the liberals all across the globe, it was a one world government. Our problems are not just for a particular country or a specific country. All of these world leaders, they go to, is it Switzerland, to Davos, to talk about things that they want to do. And this was also part of their plan because they've said this for a long time. America was funding Eco Health Alliance, the gain of function led by Dr. Fauci, to bring back or to bring COVID into the population. Let's keep reading. USAID funneled 53 million to Eco Health Alliance, which then used US taxpayer funds to support gain of function research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan lab, research that likely led to a creation of COVID-19. Do you see how crazy this sounds? We have biological laboratories, 4th degree, 5th degree. Guess where? America, Ukraine, where else? China. And we got COVID. America was funding all of this. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. It's heartbreaking. Look where we are right now. We are in debt. People lost properties, their jobs. They came up with vaccine mandates. All of this was just a plan to destabilize the world. Thank God they're not going to succeed. So you can see the CIA funding all of these wars across the globe. Why do you think that when Donald Trump won, everybody was now starting to talk about peace deals? It shows that these people are demonic. The war in Gaza with Israel, the war in Ukraine. All of this was by design. The American government was funding these things. It's so sad to me. It's really sad. But anyway, So Cyril is an South African president. Cyril Ramaphosa is the South African president, and things are not okay between South Africa and the United States. On this topic, I might want to criticize Donald Trump a little bit because Trump is being told by Elon Musk that there's a genocide going on in South Africa. White people are being mistreated. This came after Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he signed a bill, a very controversial bill, that was going to make the South African government expropriate land without compensation. We've been here before. You remember Robert Mugabe, the Zimbabwean president? He chased away all the white farmers, and I think South Africa is going to go back right to where Zimbabwe is. But let me explain myself first after we listen to what the president of South Africa has said about Donald Trump.
That Donald Trump fears so much. We offer this question of the land. I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land because he's never been here. And he must keep his America. We will keep our South Africa. That is what he must do. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. And Ene is even worse. He's even worse. When I meet him, I will tell him. I will say, you, Donald Trump, you are even worse because your forebears came to America. They found the native, the indigenous Americans. They wiped them out. They killed nearly all of them. Rine, we are living as a nation, and black and white, we are going to find solutions for our land question. So Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone, Maori. When we were facing apartheid, when we were facing oppression, he was not here. He did not fight side by side with us. And we were able, on our own, yes, with support of progressive forces in the world, to resolve the apartheid question. As far as I recall,
you just heard that? He is saying Trump should keep his America and he should keep his South Africa. I think it's clear, man. He is so right because we do not want the American government to interfere into our African politics. So specifically in South Africa. But South Africa is shady. As a person who once lived in South Africa, I can tell you it's a very good country. The only thing that they have to get rid of is the ANC government. One thing Africans need to wake up from is after post-colonialism, these black governments have decimated our continent. Right now, we don't have anything to point. Of course, there has been progress. I cannot say that we are in shambles like that, but I can tell you that we can do better. These governments, they are not for black people. Yes, they keep saying, our land, our land. But South Africa has so much crime. It makes no sense. And the reason why I'm talking about crime is because I believe that the US government was funding some shady business in the Republic of South Africa. So here Ramaphosa is, I stand with him on this one. But it makes no sense when you now want to cry about the aid that is being withheld by Trump. If you say to Donald Trump, keep your America and I'll keep my South Africa, then I like it. It shows that you are a man who is confident. It shows that you do not rely on anyone. South Africa, I believe that they are being attacked by Trump because Trump so that South Africa is in cahoots with China, India, Brazil, and lastly, Russia, right? Some of these countries don't have a good relationship with America. China, for an example, Russia also. These countries, they are the biggest threat to the United States. So if South Africa is joining this alliance, it shows that it doesn't have America's interest at all, which is good, right? So now, South Africans, please stop crying about the USAID fund. We are capable enough as Africans to create our own allies and also our minerals, our resources. If we can put all of that together, we won't be crying for aid. So here's another thing. USAID gave $400 million to who? To Enova, a South African NGO with a broken website and a deactivated X account. This is where some of the money is going. So the reason why crime is so rampant, guys, I pray for South Africa. I need South Africa to be a law, what can I say? It's a lawless country right now. Rape, violence, gun violence too. If you think this is a joke, listen to the stats. I mean, to just research. South Africa's probably two of South African cities. It could be Joburg or Cape Town. They are in top 4 of the world's most dangerous cities in the world, not in Africa. Why is that? Why is everyone not talking about crime against our people as well? You are complaining about apartheid and all of that. That was a white on black crime. How about the crime on black on black? We need to address that. Africa is going through a lot, guys. We do not need to blame anybody. At this point, we need to take our own responsibility and fix our issues. We cannot be crying about funding. Where is the funds going? Even if you ask the South African public, where is the public is saying we are suffering, but the United States is giving aid to South Africa, but it's not going to the citizens, right? That is that is kind of crazy, man. That is so crazy. Also, here's a footage of the biggest Mexican cartel leader who was now apprehended by the Mexican government after Trump's tariffs threats, right? So they are now suing or arresting the cartels just because of Trump. I don't get it. Why? Why do you want us to give Trump so much praise? Because we know during his first presidency there was no war. He never deployed any troops. Right now, I hope he doesn't do what he's about to do, sending troops to Gaza. I need that place to be peaceful. I pray for the world. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys, I really appreciate your time. You making time to watch these videos. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.